The doctor said to me, "Oh, you should never have pulled the pitchfork out of your foot." And I said, well, I had to because I had to drive here.
It's not plain sailing farming, is it?
No. It's fun though.
Not when I'm stood here, it's not. You've been magical today, so I'll... Tuesday the 22nd of April, had the birthday party on Sunday, which went terribly well. Had a lovely aeroplane pilot do a big heart in the sky. I told Alexandra, of course, I organised it, but actually it wasn't me. It was just a fluke that somebody obviously just drew a lovely big heart with an aeroplane in the sky. But the grass is coming up, and it's a bit patchy. It looks actually worse, I think, in patches than it did if it wasn't done. So we'll have to keep filling in, I think, and then we'll get to roll this. Concreting guys are here, so they're going to start getting the rest of the drive done. Half the drive's in. Really looking forward to that getting done, because they're currently going up the old drive, which is near my house, and the lorries are rattling in the morning. 4 o'clock this morning, there was a helicopter above my house for 20 minutes. I don't know what they were looking for, but it's funny how you get woken up early and it unsettles you. But yeah, so I was sort of up and about trying to work out what the hell was happening above me, because normally when that happens, it means that somebody's doing a runner. So I was sort of looking out to see if suddenly there was somebody going to be tearing across the garden. But anyway, electricians are in the shed. They're putting up the Wi-Fi for the event. Tomorrow we've got the sound test coming to do the visuals with the screens and the stage, and having a dummy run to make sure everything works. If there's a problem, then we can know in advance. And then we've got the Wi-Fi, all the fibre optic cables all running. That's working. So hopefully we're going to start to be in good health. And then we concrete this part of the yard, so this is done. Then they're going to work around the back. And the screener, he's finished the first part. We've got to start digging out the next bit. And the guys are going to go spraying in about a quarter of an hour. Just waiting for it to burn off a bit this morning. It's a bit damp, had some rain yesterday, not enough to do anything. But cold day yesterday, brilliant day on Sunday. So lucky, it was almost like somebody up there was making sure the party was nice, because it was an outside party as well. So good. Yeah, and then we're going to see Cousin Michael in a minute, waiting for him to appear so we can do a little bit of agronomy. So just to run through Tilley for a second. We've been doing this now. I was doing this before you came. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing Tilley now quite a few years, a long time actually, I think, pretty much from when it was set up. So the basic principles of Tilley is agriculture doesn't have to have an MOT. That's right. But because of the distances we travel, the size of the kit, everything, we're doing the voluntary scheme, which is done by Tilley Trailer. You then went on courses with them, didn't you? And then they basically now allow you to do the Tilley testing on our machinery, etc.
That's right.
And then you have updates with them, don't you, where you have to either go to them or you go on the Zoom, and it's updates as they find new things. So effectively, this is a brake trailer, and we're doing everything. Anything that's towed, aren't we, we're doing. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's a drill or whether it's a trailer, or whether it's a header trailer, etc. So you've actually, this is the third header you've had in now, and you actually have the wheels off, don't you? Yeah. You check the bearings, brakes, and you also take the grease cap off it, don't you? Make sure it's all tight in there and there's plenty of grease. Yeah. And you go for it. This will be a relatively simple one for you to check, won't it, in that sense?
Yeah, it's quite basic. There's no rams or pipes or, hydraulics of any sort.
And this is braked via the lever at the front, isn't it, as opposed to being braked hydraulically?
Yeah, overrun.
So this is a push one, is it, with the cabling, isn't it?
Yeah, you call it an overrun brake.
Overrun. Yeah. Okay, so and you have to make sure there's basics on there, like the wire rope. So if the header comes off the back of the combine, it pulls the rope and it applies the brakes.
That's right.
Now I had one come off.
Header tray.
Yeah, it's many years ago. I've got a picture of it stuck in a barbed wire fence on a drive at Madingley. But basically, the bottom of the pin has a hole in it, and if you don't poke that out every time, it can fill up. And then the pin comes down, you think it's gone in, but it's actually not gone through the hole. Uh-huh. And then the way they're sort of shaped, they've got like a rounded edge at the bottom. It pulled it out basically, and the thing shot off, and it was before I had a 12 metre, so I don't know what it was, a 9 metre or something like that. Shot off down the drive, and went into the thing. If that had come off on the road, it would have been somewhat awful. So it's important to us to have all those right, those cables and etc. Because I really don't want, and everything's labelled up, isn't it? So we couldn't exactly say it wasn't our header.
No.
Oh well, you've been magical today, so
I'm not hanging it out today.
You're not hanging it out today, are you? No. Right. See you later. So the big hardcore's going off to the crusher. That's coming back, all crushed. And then the soil pile is getting smaller now. They're having to deal with that. And then the stuff they're lining up, we actually sent it off to find out what the analysis of it is, whether it's got any pH correction in it. So we've got to finish off doing the yards, there'll be plenty more, but if so, I've got a little area or two I could do with patching. So Glyn and Chris are doing that at the moment, and then we'll get the screener running again when we get the second part of the yard done. Pipes have been connected up today, so at the tank end, so that's good, and then we'll be able to start putting the down pipes in and connecting them up, because when it was raining yesterday, it was just pouring out onto the floor, filling up the troughs here where the pipes are running, which is less than helpful. So might actually, that grass might start growing now out there after that bit of rain, which would be helpful. Otherwise that part won't be the show field, that's just going to be a dust ball. So Glyn and Mark, whoa, that's loud. Glyn and Mark are getting this hardcore taken away, so Mark's going backwards and forwards to the crusher, clearing it, make a bit of a hole as well, because it feels like we're all jammed into a corner at the moment. Once we've got that all cleared and got this soil gone, we can then start grading this, get the right levels right, so we can start to bring out the first 6 meters, concrete that, and then put the drain in the other side so no water can come in. So I've got to get this shelving ordered now. The price of shelving frightened me. I hadn't quite come to terms with ordering it yet. I think I'm going to have to just order less than I originally planned. So they're busy making the bases now for the stanchions for the concrete panelling that's going to go around the outside, because up here the bank is quite high. So instead of sloping it down, because we want to build a roadway on the far side, we've decided that we're going to concrete panel that back wall. So he's currently sloping this down, which in terms of stanchions and concrete and everything saves £4,000 just doing this one run down this side by grading it. And then the back wall here, we're going to put the concrete panels in and then bringing it round, because when we open up for the farm entrance to come in, going back and around on itself, we've got to make sure that the panels and the stanchions holding that wall back can take that surge of loading from all those twisting and turning vehicles coming round. So it's quite an expense, that part. So Chris is basically getting this landscaped here, and then he'll stone this across, and then they're going to concrete round the perimeter and then concrete the floor, dig out where the stanchions are going for the new shed, the extension, and then it will just be left like that. So 22nd of April, so from when Horse come here, we're about 38 days away from them arriving, which is nothing. And then from when you all come, it's I think it's like 58 days or something frightening. But yes, we're now down to day countdown, and won't be long until it's hours.
Point of carry.
So Tom's getting us to squeeze together because something's wrong with the zoom on his thing. But we're not comfortable, are we? We're almost holding hands.
Come on,
okay.
bring it in.
This is Gary. He wanted me to call him Jesus a minute ago. From Agrii. So you're part of the marketing team, aren't you?
I am indeed, yes, marketing manager over at Agrii.
And so you've come to check out exactly where your stand's going. Because you've got quite a big stand, haven't you? It's almost like two parts. You've got like on the grass as well as on the hardcore.
Yeah, that's right. So we've sort of split it into two sections. So we're going to have the front bit with our sort of main stands and gazebos and stuff and what have you. And at the back is going to be a nice big seed wagon for you to come and have a look at for one of our seed dressers.
Okay.
And some seating areas, some fun and games
Does that mean
as well.
you're going to park on the grass?
Absolutely, yeah. But I've seen it, so it's fine.
Tell you. They hadn't told me that. I got a thing about parking on the grass.
It's fine. It's the only the flat bit that we could find at the back there, so that's good.
Well, it's fine for you, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you get to meet the infamous cousin Michael on stand.
I get to
hopefully,
meet him.
If we can,
I get to meet him.
Well, the
regularly,
visitors
don't we?
will.
I did actually.
We're trying to forget
I
him.
did actually say, I haven't seen him for. I didn't see you at all last week, did I?
No, I did a good job of
Avoiding me, and I just I said to him, "You've lost weight," and he said he's got a corset on. Apparently, his wife has to pull the strings before he comes to work because he's getting a bit rude. But I'm beating him on this weight competition. And then Simon and Kate, we just had a meeting this morning. We're partway through it, aren't we? It's our sort of weekly meeting on the open day, where we're going. You've obviously come, so you've picked your stand, which is good. But anyway, so we're pleased you're coming, and we're pleased you've got a good sized stand. It'll be a good presence, and Michael and his team have got to do a thing on the open day in the Field of Dreams, 12 ton a hectare.
It's going to be.
Keep telling you, Michael, he wants to pick a different field. But no, there's a lot riding on him, Michael. You guys always make out the limitation is the farmer, not the agronomist. So we're going to find out, because I've said no limitation.
You've put plenty of limits on it already. You needn't worry about that.
Definitely haven't. God is working with me. It rained at the weekend.
That's true.
Yeah, so God is working with me, and the grass is starting to grow. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't been there yet.
Oh, haven't you? Okay.
No.
Right, good.
Right, so this is the tissue test I took on the 9th. So actually it was in that week where it's real cold and frosty nights and what have you, and biological functions wouldn't have been that great. So, yes.
If you took it now, you think it would be tremendously different?
I would, yes. I think where I was going to with this is I wasn't at all surprised to see various things a bit low.
Even the potassium.
Yeah, the potassium's a bit low
because it was cold.
Well, it could well have been low anyway, but it wouldn't have helped. So what was happening was plants were trying to grow away. We got daylight and we've got good day length. And plants were trying to grow away, but the nutrition wasn't really there available for it to take up. So you saw a lot of these wheats and barleys especially lose colour. While we're on this subject, we don't seem to have anyone to drive the Bowser at the moment, have we?
Yeah, we do.
Have we?
Well, do remember Raymond's currently off. He should be back to work.
So coming back to my original statement, we don't seem to have anyone to drive the Bowser.
But you've got 4 sprayers out.
I haven't, because none of them are out of the yard yet.
Well, he is. He's just come round the corner. Stop it now. Stop it now.
Okay. And there's another one sweeping the yard or something when he could have been in Lincolnshire.
Now stop it. That was first thing this morning. That was when it was dewy.
Come on.
Look, I tell you.
Sharpen up.
You're like a woman. You're like a woman. It's like suddenly you remember something from 20 years ago.
Anyway, back to this.
Go on.
So actually that's not that bad. I bet you if we'd taken one a week later, it would have shown nitrogen deficiency. Because everything's growing away, and before that rain.
Can you do another one then?
So but that's what I was going to say. But if we haven't done it,
what growth stage was the crop at then?
30.
What's it at now?
32.
So it'd be quite interesting to try another test now.
It will, but we've got to wait. We've got to wait. There's no point taking it once you put straight after you put nutrition on, because it'll give you a false reading.
Has he done that field yet?
I believe he has, yes. But we had rain. We're now on Tuesday. When did we have the rain?
Some yesterday.
Yeah, but we had a good dollop.
Oh, the 19 mil.
Yeah. I mean, that revolutionised crops. That made a hell of a difference. They've changed colour tremendously now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, some of the barley was looking a bit sick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That barley seems to have a very strange coloration in it, doesn't it? It goes very yellow quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not barley year. If you drive around the country, there's a lot of very ropey barley about.
Barley looks quite good. We're going to go look at it.
Yeah, that's our good barley. That's our best barley. Yeah, the one that you're going to mow early.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that.
Why is the zinc, Michael, so poor?
As I say, there again, that's probably down to
right. So we can go look. I'm going to take a picture of that. We can go look at the chemical in the chemical store then, and we can see what you're doing about it. Yes.
Yeah, if you like. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go and see what you're doing about it in relation to this.
Yeah.
Right. Come on then.
The boys are just getting ready with the sprayers now. Aaron's already gone to Lincolnshire. Chris has gone out on his. Sandy's just going out on his, and then. Kieran's about to go out on this one. Have to wait for the sun to come up, burn all the dew off. It was quite damp this morning. And so this is the spray store. We keep having to move it to get away from the guys which are doing the digging, but it's been a brilliant spray shed, but we've just basically outgrown it, hence why we're building the new one. So anyway, get Michael in here now. Right, this is my point I'm making. Right, you've got two different types. What's this one doing?
That's going on that field there.
What, Field of Dreams?
Yes.
You mean that's having special treatment?
Yeah, because that's got that's akin to the that's got potassium in it.
Okay.
And quite a bit of it. So that's
okay. And that's because it shows it's low on potassium.
Yeah.
Is it possible, say we said every tank load, put this in,
yeah.
Would you actually make the crop sick from over applying, or would it just waste it?
It depends how much you're talking about. I would have said waste it mostly.
Okay.
But no, but over applying anything's not a good thing because you start to restrict other things.
Okay.
So no, I'm applying a maintenance dose.
I'm just worried about the time it's going to take these guys to put all this in.
Well, I think you'll be surprised.
Okay, Michael. So they're forever changing the names. This is Chlormacrot, though.
Yeah, that's Chlormacrot, yeah.
So that's what I always find frustrating, because there's so many different names now.
Yeah, but what you have to remember is that there's sometimes you can only use a brand once. Okay. Like the brand I used that we had in the IBC.
Okay.
Can't use that twice.
Even though it's the same active ingredient?
Correct.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you have to then go for a completely different brand?
Which wasn't available in IBCs.
Oh no.
So,
oh, that's frustrating. So this is why we're going to make sure that they can fill up a minimum of 2 sprayers at once in the spray store. I don't know what it is about people always grouping together, but this always happens. It's the same with the lorries. As soon as you're going to go, they all want to fill up at once. And so this is where you get the level of inefficiency. So hopefully the new shed, when we get that finished, and we're literally weeks away, but of course we haven't got an entrance to go in with the concrete. That's the next problem. But these guys will get filled up, and then we've got to move this spray store and everything again. This will be the 3rd time we've moved it, so they can start digging this section out. So we're sort of almost going to get to the point we're going to have to run out of the Bowsers just to get this shed running. I'm getting a bit nervous now. I think I need to put some more seed on. I worry this is not coming to anything. I think we're going to have to get a little, like an Avadex spreader type thing, and come and spread it on. Because this would be less than ideal. Dungy?
Hey?
We need a man with a spreader.
What for?
Like a little wing jet thing.
What for?
Chuck some more grass seed on. I'm ever so nervous it's coming to nothing.
Well, it will come to something. It takes forever.
On the drive, it's actually come up.
Yeah.
But on here it hasn't, which, you know, normally you'd expect to see it trying to do something by now.
Looks in them.
How long does that take?
Well, I'll be surprised if it's really giving it a lot of grief now, because we must have sprayed some. Oh no, that was weak, wasn't it?
Well, I need to put some on the top.
Well, the slug pelleter would do that.
What, the little?
On the quad.
Yeah. Well, I don't need the quad, do I? I've got the Hilux.
Oh yeah, oh yes!
Yeah, we've got the Hilux.
Oh, well, that'll do that perfectly. I forgot all about that, the Batmobile.
Yeah, we'll get that out. That's the kiddie for the job. So you think this is now at growth stage 32?
Yeah.
So can you just explain, please, Michael, what the growth stages are?
Yeah.
And also, what's the difference between a 30 and a 32?
The best thing to do is to count backwards. If you take your flag leaf, which is your last leaf before the ear comes back, as number 1.
Yeah.
And then come down the plant, number 2 and number 3, and those 3 leaves are the ones that are going to soak up most of the sunlight.
Yes.
So
just to be clear, you're trying to keep these as clean as you possibly can.
Correct.
Away from disease and scorch and fertiliser and things, so that actually the plant can absorb as much as it physically can into it. The more damage they become, the less efficient the plant is.
Correct. So
when you're starting to see this, for example, what's that?
Well, that's a bit of septoria. So you'll always find septoria in a wheat crop generally.
Okay.
That's on a lower leaf.
And Skyfall is more susceptible, is it?
Skyfall's absolutely notorious for yellow rust, so that's what bings you out. But yes, it is relatively susceptible to.
And what do you think we spend on fungicides typically on wheat to control septoria, yellow rust?
£120 a hectare, something like that.
So substantial.
I would just need to, but totting it up, something like that.
From my point of view, we're spending at least £150,000 just trying to keep.
If you say so, yeah.
So looking at Crusoe last year, which you got me to grow.
Yeah.
And actually got hit by brown rust.
Yeah. Well, we had a double whammy with Crusoe because not only did it suddenly get brown rust, but the brown rust it got was unbeknown to us. It became a different strain, which wasn't controlled quite as easily by the chemical we'd usually control brown rust with.
So looking back at last year, because you could argue if we had a poor yield of 30% down, which of course I think we averaged 20% down across the entire farm for everything, but 30% down, for example, on wheat.
Yeah.
Looking back at last year and the different strain, are you saying actually you would have attacked it differently? Wouldn't just be you, would it?
Doubt. No. This is a national problem.
And could you have changed the output of how badly it was hurt?
To a certain extent, we had all sorts going on, didn't we? Because the chemical that we were using wasn't as effective. We didn't know that at the time. We couldn't get on with the chemical. We had real difficulties getting anything on at all at the right time because of the conditions.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, obviously now we know what we know. We're attacking this year very differently to what we did last year.
Can we just put it into perspective? Why I'm talking about it? £600 a hectare cost.
What is?
Well, if you lose 3 tonne a hectare based on 10 tonne, for example, and you go down to 7, and you attribute that, for example, to conditions like brown rust on this particular conversation, at £200 a tonne, £600 a hectare. So actually, you times that by 1,700 hectares, you are talking a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
It is a real issue for me.
Oh no, it's a real issue for everybody. But I think you're taking a pretty simplistic view, because I think that last year's yield decrease wasn't just down to
there was the drought effect.
Well, but also, do you not remember how it all went in the autumn? I mean, the autumn last year, as with this year, although this year we've had a lot more forgiving conditions since.
Are you going to drop in? Are you going to make the point, aren't you? I can see it's coming. You've
What's
not mentioned it for a week or two, but you saved harvest.
Oh,
is that where we're going? Is that? Oh, really? Okay. Well, I bet they haven't.
It's a very simplistic view to say that we lost 3 tonne a hectare down to disease. I don't think we did. We did lose significant yield.
Okay, so what would you attribute of that 30% there? What would you say the brown rust lost? Because there are people who have said they had dramatical problems, didn't they?
Oh, we did. I'm not.
So what's the percentage?
I had no idea.
50% of that 3 tonne?
It could easily have been. Yeah.
Right. So it's £300 a hectare problem still.
It was, and it is a big problem. But. The way we're doing it is we're screening diseases, HGCA are screening diseases, but really that doesn't really come into play until the following year. So
but this is some, Michael, of the problem with agronomy, from my point of view, is actually you are spraying for the never. So you're doing a T0, you'll do a T1, a T2, a T3, and heaven forbid you might even squeeze in a T4.
Yeah.
But and it's a lot about preventing something from happening.
It's not a lot. It's all about preventative.
But But we're applying on an unknown cost.
Correct.
And that for a farmer is difficult to stomach, isn't it?
But also, you for instance, this crop looks lovely now. We're applying a preventative measure to stop it getting septoria.
Yeah.
Now, if it doesn't rain again between now and June, the risk is pretty low.
Yes.
But you know, I don't know that now, but there are other benefits to fungicides beyond controlling disease. They will keep a crop green for longer, depending on what you use. They'll keep a crop green for longer, etc., etc. And time after time after time, year after year, you will see a benefit from fungicides over and above the cost of them. But nevertheless, there is a wide variation between different programs, and part of my job, and where you lean on me, is to make sure that I try and pick the program that's going to.
Well, otherwise, Michael, crudely,
return.
I take last year's, and I don't need you, and I just apply the same.
Except for the fact last year's didn't work very well.
Yes, well then you probably get the same answer. But just to put it into perspective from my point of view, I got a stomach funding £1.4 million worth of chemical costs across the farm.
Yeah.
So trying to find a justification why we're doing it, as opposed to, well, it might prevent, is a real gamble. And that's what I think about farming, is actually it is a massive gamble. We do a lot of stuff just in case.
And I think that's true to a certain extent, but there's a lot of work goes into predicting likelihood, you know, a lot of prediction type stuff, whether that be insects, funguses, weeds, you know, there are all sorts of different organisations that do, including ours, and I go back to HGCA because you pay a levy for that purpose, and there are all sorts of predictions, and the information that gets fired at us agronomists, and you, if you choose to read it, all the time about the likelihood of a problem happening because of certain conditions that have happened as we build up to it. There's a lot of that goes on. So yes, you are.
But it's always very difficult when you're trying to explain to people you farm for why you're paying out these vast amounts of money, etc.
Yeah.
If you get really good yield, if you're doing 12 tonne a hectare, it's a very easy conversation.
Yeah.
Because you've made back everything that you're concerned about. So it's when you suddenly do 7 tonne a hectare, because you've had a difficult year and your margins are back to back now, and you're either walking out the year making a loss or you're broken even. That's a very difficult one, because you're still writing the check.
And of course those conversations are happening more and more and more, because we've had a series of years where actually we are struggling to break even.
We worked out, didn't we, that my biggest year in yield terms was 2015. When we did 13.48 tonne a hectare on Skyfall in a big block on the milling wheat. And then suddenly we've been nowhere near it anywhere since.
No.
And, you know, when you've got those big yields, all these type of conversations evaporate. And that's the whole point of this field of dreams, isn't it? If we can get 12 tonne a hectare as the average, a lot of these issues disappear. It's the tricky conversations when we don't get the yield.
But over my career, which is now 30 hours, both of us have been in farming 30 years. You could pick 2 or 3 years where you've had those busting great yields.
I know, but we keep farming, but we keep applying and farming as if we're going to get the big yield.
Absolutely, but on that year, when you got the big yields, if you hadn't applied to farm to get a big yield, you wouldn't have got the big yield.
I know. So that's why we're always in this, it might happen, or next year is going to be the big year.
And we can do what the hell we like, but climatic conditions will right through the season, and even in the autumn, will affect the yields more than I could ever affect them with chemical. So, you know.
So on that basis, then, Michael, price actually becomes quite important.
Price of everything, input price, output price.
Because about the only thing I can control.
Yeah.
Because effectively, this is the worst part about it. It's like having an engine, isn't it? You can budget, not spend any money on machinery, the engine blows up. So what do? Tow it into the corner or fix it? You're forced into it. Agronomy is not dissimilar, is it? You get a difficult condition, you're forced to spend it. So you have to make sure, A, you've got the cash flow, and B, we're always hoping, unless we can get it to a better prediction. If actually, Michael, there is a way for us to be able to find a better prediction model somehow, and where that might come from, whether it's robotics or more regular drone flying or something, which actually can predict better, so we can spend for the season we're going to have, not for the one that we thought we were going to have.
What we really want is a more dependable weather forecast. Honest to God.
I think God and I, we're not on good terms.
I'm not surprised. Look at the blinking. Have you noticed this? That this is going to detract from the yield. So when we don't hit 12 tonne.
Where we stood, I noticed, Michael, but my patch is less crushed. Listen not plain sailing farming, is it?
No. It's fun though.
Not when I'm stood here, it's not. Maybe when I get halfway across there I might be, but not here at this exact moment, Michael, just thinking about it. But I am wondering what we can...
Of course, the other problem with these, if the bar, what's the matter?
I see a lorry up there, but it must be delivering
They
sewage
are
sludge.
delivering
Sorry, I
sewage
just
sludge.
suddenly got nervous. What was going on?
No.
I'm wondering, Michael, what we could spray this off now and what we could put in.
Well, it is literally, I mean, it has had...
It's the 22nd of April, and there has been a lot of times, Michael, we didn't get drilling till now.
Yeah, it has had, now you come to mention it, it has had a sophomolurea, so...
So will that kill the linseed?
Officially, you shouldn't grow.
And is it because we're direct drilling as well?
Yeah, that wouldn't help. So we
Unless
are...
I make this the car park, but that's 300 acres of car park. That's some car park.
We
isn't
are
it?
stood in the worst piece of blackgrass in this field, and
Yeah.
the other fields aren't as bad.
All right.
But the secondary problem is the barley in it.
Yeah, okay.
And what we do with the barley.
Yeah. Well, I can colour sort that out.
Can you?
Yeah, I can actually get barley and oats. I can separate them. I
Right.
can solve that problem. It's slow. It's not ideal, but I can solve it.
I mean, from a yield perspective, and getting a return from this crop,
Yeah.
then the best thing to do is to grow it on and swallow your pride. Really, you need to think about a spring crop after it.
Spring oats. Spray it off and drill spring oats in
It'd be
now.
nice to have a spring crop where we could do
Any
something
seed?
with the blackgrass.
Any oat seed?
Oh no, we don't want to be messing about drilling spring oats now. No.
Well, you say that. We've got rain coming now. Sometimes you could have drilled it earlier and not come.
You could. Yeah, well, your biggest, your biggest loss is your first loss, isn't it? Or your greatest loss is your first loss. This is a particularly bad area. Get a bit further into the field, and it is better.
Doesn't look it. Is that a bad area over there then? Where is this good area? I mean, these are some of the issues, Michael, aren't they? That basically farmers get faced, aren't they? Is the value of the seed return greater problem than actually taking the crop on? Is it a short-term gain for a long-term pain? You know,
absolutely.
You know, these are the issues, aren't they?
Yes, and
effectively, this is a disaster in terms of blackgrass management.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you know, it's a shame actually that's quite the problem.
Yeah.
Because it does make you think that maybe we've had oats go around the rotation. Now we need to pull out of oats.
Yeah. But winter oats, spring oats I'm a fan of, but you do need that really to make oats.
I know, but everybody, Michael's got stuck into oats.
Yeah.
On the back of SFI and everything, the oat market's collapsed.
Yeah.
Last year, £270 a tonne.
Yeah.
This year, I'm struggling to get 140.
Yeah.
You know, the economic, yes, you say you spend less, but you earn less.
I think if this problem was mine, I'd grow them on and I'd grow a spring crop.
It's supposed to be a first wheat next year.
Yeah, well, that's maybe the case, but if you think the black grass is bad now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
In 1907, the farm here was owned by Tira Hooley. He actually lived at Papworth Hall, which is about 4 miles away, which then became Papworth Hospital. So in 1907, he then built the livestock units. They've now since been converted to industrial units. So the building was, the roof was Yorkshire boarded. Now that meant you had 2 planks of wood about 5 inches wide, and they were put half an inch away from each other. So this allowed the daylight in and also all the smells to go out. But also when it rained, they then closed up. So none of the cattle actually got wet, but they did spend most of their time, you know, with the sun streaming through, which was lovely for them. Every month we brought in 30 calves, and they stayed with us until they were 12 months old, or when they got to 800 weight, or 400 kilograms, as it would be today. So as you can imagine, there was an awful lot of muck. And once a year, we used to muck the whole lot out. And we used to do it with a International 275 tractor with a 4-end loader, and then various trailers where we took it out into the field. But when you got to the end of the last pen, by this time all the rats had moved into that end pen. And what we used to do was we used to put straw bales around inside the pen and the tractor inside, and as it lifted the muck, the rats used to run out. And of course we had a lot of Jack Russells in those days, and the Jack Russell used to go and have a whale of a time killing all these rats because there were lots of them. The barley beef, basically they were on straw, barley straw, and they were fed barley with a concentrate. And as time went on, we would try to find ways of getting the animals to market as quick as possible. And one of the things we did is we had bull beef, so entire animals, so they had not been castrated, and that way they got to market quicker. But it was my job one weekend to look after the cattle, to straw them down. And I went in and threw the bales in and went in with my pitchfork. And as I went to put the pitchfork into the bale, one of the cattle came to me and knocked me, unfortunately the pitchfork went straight through my left foot and came out about that much out the bottom. And all I had to do was put my other foot on it and pull it back out again. After I'd done that and finished the cattle, I then went to the hospital, and the doctor said to me, "Oh, you should never have pulled the pitchfork out of your foot." And I said, well, I had to, because I had to drive here and I needed my foot to operate the clutch.
So we've got the Claas Brigade here from Mans. Richard is leading the task today, where the stand's going, how it's going to look. And they're working behind us now, aren't they? Trying to work out what they're going to bring.
Well, yeah, you can say nothing to do with me, James.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're just chatting, aren't we?
I've only just come for the beer.
Oh, the beer, yeah. Gave him a P.X beer, so these guys get to try it early. I'm a bit worried, but actually, before I know it, I'm going to have depleted that big pallet of beer before the open day. Simon's already said to me, I think we better order another one.
Yeah, well, you said you were going to hide it, but we now
you know where it is. It was well hidden.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was well hidden. But no, it's the 25th of June. Mans will be here with Claas equipment, and you're going to have other bits and bobs that you've got within the dealership on display as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so they'll be doing full steering. We'll have something proper tractor, 12650.
Oh, the big.
So the big boy.
Yeah.
Just to show people what the future is, and yeah, a lot of Claas tractors, a lot of Claas equipment.
But also you've got a lot of Claas tractors which are going to be on horse equipment for the demonstrations as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So they will actually be able to see it operating.
All operational.
Yeah, and you're also going to be, people want to specifically see something, they come to the stand, see somebody, and the salesman will take them off and show them whatever it is they want to see.
Yep.
Because there's just going to be quite a big range, isn't there? It might not all be on the stand, but it's going to be dotted across the site, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as most of this farm is red with horse stuff, there isn't many things that you won't be able to show people, is there?
I think, I think you've done us proud there too.
Yeah. One sprayer is temporarily out of action. Unfortunately, the one of the clamps where the pivot goes for the pin for the ram had snapped. The cleverest issue, so they've just got that back. Thanks to Tom, who went down and helped Sandy. He actually went down to film Sandy spraying, and actually then ended up having to help rescue him to fold the boom back in to then bring it down the road to get it ratchet strapped in, so we get it back to the workshop to weld up. It was easier to do it in here than it is in the field. A couple of questions. I will practice on my water divining. I'm delighted that you find it easy, John, but I will do some practicing. My grandfather used to do it, but with a piece of wood in a Y shape, and I seem to do it with that, not with the metal. Cameras, which cameras are we using? Navman is what we're using to look at tracking and also record where we are with the cameras. The heap of grain, no, it's about 13.5%. It's just, it probably looks like that because it's about 14.5 metres tall in Aberdeen. And Anglia water, yes, we do use Anglia water for sewage sludge. It's just they haven't started on all the fields yet. But Severn Trent are doing Lincolnshire and coming down to Bedfordshire, and doing some in Cambridge, and in Anglia Water doing some as well. So no, we do use them as well. And Severn Trent are coming to the open day as well, and they're going to be here talking to people about what they do. So another good day. Got a bit done today. It's one of those days, sun is shining, a bit of progress. I like days like this because I actually feel like we're getting something done. But we look forward to seeing you next. You'll see you. This is for Wednesday, and I'll see you because it was bank holiday. We're all out of sync, even though I was at work on bank holiday. But it's funny how you get out of sync. And then I'll see you on Friday when Tom comes again, do a bit of filming, see what's happening, ready for Sunday. So all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.